Jamal Blows the Blues, written by Vandell Andrew. Jamal Jenkins was a regular kid from New Orleans. He loved po' boys, playing ball with his cousins, and dancing to second-line bands on the weekend. But one hot summer afternoon, everything changed. He found a saxophone in his Uncle Reggie's attic. It was dusty, dented, smelled like old beignets and brass polish. But when Jamal blew into it, boo-wah, the sound shot out like a car horn in traffic. "Boy," Grandma yelled from the porch, "either learn to play that thing or go wake the neighbors on purpose." So Jamal did both. Every day after school, Jamal sat under the big oak tree in the backyard with the sax. At first, it squeaked like sneakers on a basketball court. Then it honked like a goose with attitude. But Jamal didn't stop. He practiced every single day. He watched YouTube videos. He copied notes from his uncle's old sheet music. He made up little songs about whatever he saw. His brother's tricycle, his mama's red beans, the neighbor's dog. By the time he turned 13, people on the block would pause to listen. Even Grandma started humming along while cooking gumbo. In 9th grade, Jamal set his sights on the one thing he wanted more than anything: to join the Marching 100 at the legendary St. Augustine High School. The band was famous: purple and gold uniforms, shiny helmets, and a sound that shook the Superdome. Jamal practiced his marching and music until his sneakers had holes in them. At tryouts, he held his horn high, chin up, chest out. He played a soulful solo so smooth, the band director closed his eyes and nodded along. "Welcome to the 100, he said. And just like that, Jamal was in. Being in the band was no joke. Practice started before the sun came up. Drills, steps, rehearsals, rain or shine. They performed at football games, Mardi Gras parades, and Battle of the Band competitions. The Marching 100 didn't walk. They glided. Jamal's favorite moment? A parade down Bourbon Street, his solo soaring over the crowd like the spirit of the city itself. He played with power, with pride. People waved handkerchiefs and shouted, "Play it, baby!" And Jamal, he just smiled and let the music speak. In 11th grade, Jamal was asked to play his first paid gig. A couple wanted live saxophone at their wedding reception. He showed up in a clean suit, with his horn polished to shine. Nervous at first, he took a deep breath and played his heart out. The guests danced. The bride cried. The groom dabbed his eyes. Afterwards, someone handed him $200 and said, "You've got something special." That night, Jamal stared at the money in his hand. Not because he was rich, but because, for the first time, he got paid to do what he loved. Balancing music and school wasn't easy. There were late-night practices, weekend gigs, math tests, and sore lips. Sometimes Jamal felt overwhelmed. Sometimes he thought about quitting. But every time he picked up his sax, the worries melted away. Music was his magic, his medicine, his gift. So he kept blowing, kept growing. By 18, Jamal had performed all over Louisiana. He got invited to a music camp in Atlanta, then a tour in Chicago, then an exchange program in Paris. Everywhere he went, people were drawn to the sound, warm, bold, alive. He recorded songs and shared them online. One went viral, then another. Before long, Jamal was playing festivals in Tokyo, concerts in London, and jazz clubs in New York. But no matter where he played, he always told people, "I got my start in the backyard and in the band." Years later, Jamal returned to St. Augustine High School. He walked through the same hallways, the same practice rooms. The band was rehearsing, and one of the students noticed him. "Yo, that's Jamal Jenkins." The director grinned. "Come say a few words to the fellas." Jamal stepped up and looked at the young musicians in purple and gold. "You don't need a fancy studio or a record deal," he said. All you need is love for your craft, pride in your roots, and the courage to keep showing up. The room went quiet. Then a single student raised his sax and started to play. Soon, the whole band joined in. And Jamal, he picked up a horn and played right along. Now, when a kid in New Orleans picks up a saxophone and closes their eyes, they imagine their Jamal, marching with the 100, blowing the blues and chasing their dreams.